Hey, what's up guys, it's Disturbed, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my glass cannon PvP build. In no way, shape, or form is this the best PvP build, but it's a crap load of fun to use, and you can melt people pretty fast when using it, and it's just a shitload of fun to use, like I said. So for the build, you're going to be using 5 pieces of Sentrys Call and a Reckless chest piece. Reckless just increases your damage, and it makes you take more damage, so that's why it's a glass cannon. Now, you could argue that using Savage Gloves would probably be a better idea, but mine aren't 229 yet, so I have these 268 Sentrys Call gloves. Now, if I did have 229, it might be a different story. I might put on the Savage Gloves, but with the 5 pieces of Sentrys Call, you are getting an additional 20% headshot damage, so it's not necessarily shooting yourself in the foot not having the Savage Gloves. And my crit chance is pretty high with the way that my shotgun is right now for having Fierce as the 3rd talent. And I'm using Pulse, so I'm really not losing out on that much by not having Savage Gloves. But you definitely can use 4 Sentry, Savage, and Reckless. But for me, I like having 5 Sentry and Reckless chest piece. So that's the build. For your gun, on your primary, I just have a G36 just because it's way overtuned right now and the base damage is just really high. Kind of no reason not to use this. When this gets nerfed, I'll have to, not nerfed, but fixed, because it needs to get nerfed because the base damage is way too high. For example, look at the rounds per minute and the damage of this, and then look at it of the Scar. And the Scar used to be the best AR in the game, so it's just way too overtuned. The RPM is really high and the base damage is way too high. Base damage on this one will probably get knocked down to like 10k to be 10 or 11k to be you know, at the same level as the Scar L to be balanced. Just thought I'd mention that real quick. So right now it's kind of stupid to not use this. Pretty OP. And when this gets nerfed, I might switch to a Vector that has Deadly, Brutal, and Destructive. Might reroll Destructive for Responsive for PvP. But you're really not going to be using that much. The main thing is you're going to be using a shotgun. I have a Super 90 just because it's a god roll. I probably should get an SASG 12 or maybe an M8 700. But this is pretty crazy in terms of its damage. It has Deadly, Brutal, and Fierce, and I didn't even have to reroll anything. If I did get an SASG or an M870, I'd probably have to test and see which one is better, but I don't really have any good rolls, and this one is pretty god roll as it is, so I'm using this. So those are the best shotguns in the game. Try to get a roll like this: Deadly, Brutal, Fierce. Responsive is also pretty nice, so you are going to be using a shotgun. Again, mine isn't perfect. Would be better if it was 229 or a different shotgun. Either way, in terms of your gear and modding it and all that crap, for the major attributes on your chest piece, you want armor and exotic damage resilience. All the other stuff doesn't really matter that much. Again, you want to be using Reckless chest. For your mask, I would say you want skill power on it, so that you can get your skill power decently high. You are a glass cannon, so having extra skill power will help out with your first aid. And then for your knee pads, you just want to make sure that it has crit damage on it. Enemy armor damage you might want to try to get. Also on your mask, you might want to try to get it because I heard they will be implementing that into PvP. Not sure when they will be doing that, but it's nice to have it just in case they do that pretty soon. And then for your backpack, you want crit damage. You can roll for skill power if you want to have like 30k skill power. I'm fine with having crit damage. Works perfectly fine for me, and it lets me do a lot more damage and be a much more glass cannon. And then for your gloves, you want crit damage, crit chance, and you can either go for shotgun damage or anything else, or assault rifle damage. Mine are pretty shittily rolled, I know. I re-rolled shotgun damage at least like 10 times attempting to get crit chance, because at first it was LMG damage. So I was trying to have crit damage, crit chance, and damage to elites for a PvE build that I was working on. But I re-rolled this, I re-rolled it 6 times trying to get crit chance instead of shotgun damage, and I just couldn't do it, and now I'm like bankrupted, and it cost me like 500k to re-roll it again. So I'm fine with shotgun damage, but if you get on your gloves, try to get just crit damage and crit chance, and then shotgun damage or assault rifle damage. And then on your holster, of course, you just want to make sure to get armor on it so that you're at armor cap. I'm at 268, or all my gear is 268 and 229, so my armor is a little bit too high, but make sure to get 75%. My armor is way over cap, just because one of my mods give me extra armor when I prefer them to get skill power. But moving on to how exactly you want to mod your gear, just make sure to get armor cap, and then for the rest of it, I would say just get skill power, or you can go for crit chance. I don't really have any crit chance mods, so I'm just rocking all skill power and all armor mods. Seems to be working pretty fine for me. Now for your skills, you want to be using first aid with overdose 100% because you are glass cannon and you don't want to get insta one-shotted. So this will help out with when you get your health really low. You can just pop this, get a lot of your health back. And then for your secondary skill, I would say just use Pulse with Tactical Scanner. With a shotgun, you can probably get close to crit cap with that. Crit chance is at 27% almost with this. Crit damage is at 61%. It's a huge amount of crit damage. I could just be even melting people even faster, so it's absolutely crazy. Another great thing you could use is shock turret. I know people have a mixed opinion about this and hate when people use this, but combine this with a Sentrys call shotgun build, you can easily one-shot somebody while they're zapped. You can just bop them in the face, have some of your teammates shoot at them, instantly kill them no matter what their health and toughness. That would be kind of crazy, but either just pick between the pulse and the zapper turret depending upon your skill power. If your skill power is pretty low, then I'd say just go for the shock turret. And then if you do have decent skill power, pick up with the pulse and then have one of your teammates maybe use a shock turret. Then for your talents, usually I would use on the move, but this is a solely PvP build, so I thought that adrenaline would be a lot better. It reads use a medkit when not at full health to receive an overheal. So when I use a medkit, it'll just give me that much more extra health, which is actually really nice. Especially combining that with combat medic, which reads use a medkit during low health to increase damage resistance by 40% for 10 seconds. This will pretty much just boost you up to not full health, but it'll get you a lot of health back, and it will make you a lot more tankier. So after using a medkit, it's just super helpful. And then for the next talent, you want precision, headshot a hostile to pulse them for 10 seconds. So when your pulse isn't up and you headshot somebody, which you're going to be doing primarily because you're using Sentrys call, when you headshot somebody, you get 12.8% additional crit chance and 25.6% additional crit damage. Just makes you do a crap load of extra damage. And then for the last talent, I have on the move. One is none, headshot a hostile to have a 50% chance of not consuming the bullet. So when I headshot somebody, it has a chance of the bullet going right back into my mag. Probably isn't the best, but I don't really have many other options in terms of what I should use. So I mean, it's pretty good for PvP, I guess. Don't have to reload as frequently. It's mainly better for like an SMG or an assault rifle or something if you have really good accuracy. Just getting right back into your magazine increases your burst damage a lot, but with the shotgun it's not that great, but I don't really have any better things to use, so you know, that seems to be working out pretty good. So that's pretty much it for the build. Just try to get 5 sentry, good shotgun, like I have a pretty god roll shotgun, and you should be pretty set. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will probably be releasing some gameplay on this later. If you do want to see some gameplay of it, like the video, and I'll be sure to come out with some pretty soon. I just have to go play in the Dark Zone a little bit more and have some fun with the build. So yeah, hope this helped. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe for videos similar to this one. I'll see you later, guys. Peace.